everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. It's Monday morning or Monday afternoon, wherever you are. I am so glad to be back at it after taking a lot of the weekend off to spend time with my family. Hope you guys are getting outside and trying to enjoy yourself in spite of everything that's going on in the world. And when you are out, make sure to maintain proper distancing. Okay? All right. So last week we talked about this Q&A that Jeremy and Jinger Vuolo have been doing on Instagram. Now they've been uploading two-part series called Would You Rather, and it's part of their J&J Q&A that they do on Instagram. The two of them have been busy trying to resculpt and remold and repackage their Instagram as being more modern and, upbeat people that aren't super problematic with problematic beliefs. That doesn't change the fact that Jeremy has sermons all over YouTube that completely disregard everything that they put out on Instagram. Anyways, that's not why we're here today. So in this Q&A, they were doing a playful game of Would You Rather. In the first installment, which I did a video of, and you can see right here, Jeremy was a little bit argumentative and pushing back on a lot of the questions that Jinger was answering. Some of you thought that it was just playful banter in comments, and others of you completely thought that the way that he was behaving was minimizing her opinion and perhaps reducing her self-confidence. Well, in the second installment, this was actually pretty boring. In one of the questions, they talked about having to have spaghetti hair. Another one was about whether or not Jeremy would have to wear a tuxedo or be dressed down. Now, Jeremy does love to be dressed up, and he is a self-proclaimed fashionista. In fact, he loves fashion. In a previous Q&A, Jeremy actually told Jinger that some of the things that are his hobbies are fashion and food. Interesting, right? Now, Jeremy is a former professional soccer player. He also played college soccer in New York. He is a rather worldly person that dresses relatively metro, I guess. Stylish? I don't know. It depends what world you live in. Jeremy likes clothes. And people have been, stunned to see the changes in Jinger since she has been dating and married to Jeremy. If you remember, she grew up in a household where everything was all about modest fashion, and she has incorporated a lot of things into her wardrobe that she would not have been able to wear before, like high heels, short shorts. She's dyed her hair and cut her hair. She is looking a lot different than the girl that we once saw. And I'll show you those photos in a second. But in this game, one of the questions was, would you rather have no fashion sense or outdated fashion sense? And Jeremy seemed to poke fun at Jinger because he says that she didn't have either when she was a child. It's an interesting, perspective if you think about it because, well, it's playful, but at the same time, it's kind of true. And then kind of, did you just say that to your wife? So in the game, I'll play it for you. And I do apologize for the volume. The volume and audio for this tape that they put out on Instagram was awful. They obviously didn't have very good microphones for this, so I can't control that. But I have my stuff all the way up for your enjoyment. And this is what he said.
Would you rather be someone with zero fashion sense or someone with an outdated fashion sense? Or looking at some of your childhood pictures, both?
Yeah. If you had zero fashion sense, then occasionally you'd get it right. So.
Hey, true fashion is not caring what anybody thinks.
Zero fashion sense, because then it's just whatever,
Okay, he says real fashion is not caring what other people think. But did you hear him say, or when you were a child, both? Now, she grew up in a household that was all about modesty. She was not allowed to wear pants. She couldn't show her shoulders. She couldn't wear tank tops. She wouldn't have been able to wear anything revealing. And she still to this day doesn't, show her chest very frequently. And she also didn't, wear heels. She had long hair. So he says you never had fashion sense and you had an outdated fashion sense. Now, while on the surface might be True. Is that the nicest thing to say from a husband's perspective? I don't know. Was he playing with her? Probably. But I wanted to dig into some of the photos that I found of her from like just not too long ago. And so this was her back a few years ago when the Duggars were on the Today Show. As you can see, her hair is quite brown, which is now much blonder. And she was wearing her hair in her natural curls. Here is her again with her very naturally curly hair, with clearly no idea of how to style it. Here's her with a very frumpy top and skirt, and again with her hair. Now, her hair is beautiful, I guess, and the clothing on the surface wouldn't be bad. It's just not layered correctly, and it doesn't fit well. And they are a thrifty family that didn't spend a lot of money on clothes, and fashion was not something that was important to them or important to the family. So as she got a little bit older, she started to expand and play and straighten her hair and sort of come into her own. But even when she met Jeremy, she was still pretty frumpy in her clothing and her appearance. There she's wearing a little bit shorter of a shirt, so she's showing her upper arms, which was not common in her previous choices when she was with her parents. But it's evident that her connection now with Jeremy, she has evolved very much in her fashion sense. She is wearing wedges now. She's wearing skinny jeans. She's wearing flowing tops. She's got her skinny jeans and sneakers and her cute little denim jacket with her little scrunchie on her arm. Jeremy, for his part, is typically always well-groomed, well-dressed, dyed her hair blonde. So it's definitely there's her in a tank top. She's even been spotted in shorts that are, mid-thigh, which would never, ever be something that would be considered okay with her parents. Now, Michelle and Jim Bob say that once a child leaves and gets married, it's up to them and their husband to decide how they dress. And in Jeremy's eyes, clearly it's important that she has a fashionable sense. So part of me wonders how much of this is about Jeremy and how much of this is about Jinger. Do you think that her fashion sense now is influenced by Jeremy and his likes and his interests, or do you think this is just what she always wanted? I mean, it's awesome to see the differences here. I mean, how do you even compare this to where she is today? I think she looks great now. I think she's super cute. She was super cute even when she had, her more modest and, Duggar fashion sense back in the day. I mean, by far the Duggar girls dress way better than the Rodriguez girls or a lot of the fundies that are in that world. So in one respect, yes, did she have outdated fashion sense? I wouldn't call it outdated. I would just call it they just didn't pay attention and they bought what they had and they were at thrift stores. No fashion sense, probably very much so. And their dressing was probably much picked out by their parents and approved by their parents. So when your parents are telling you what to wear, is that really your fashion sense? Not really, Jeremy. But interesting to see him ribbing her on that, being that it's an important aspect to him. It makes me wonder, would she be as into fashion if she were with somebody else? Or is it Jeremy that's making her do these things? Or is this just her sort of evolving into who she is? Either way, Jinger has become and is a beautiful young woman and a beautiful mother. Jeremy is interesting. I'm not a fan, but Jinger is a sweet, sweet young woman who hopefully someday will realize that she is extremely intelligent and has capabilities far beyond what she believes or knows. And hopefully at some time will really be able to spread her wings even more. I'm happy to see that she's evolved. I'm happy to see that she has changed. And I'm happy to see that at least her husband is supportive in that. And I hope at some point she realizes too that, this is it. I thought it was really funny though, because they were yeah, no fashion sense thing. And I was like, it's like a joke in their house maybe. Do you think it's a joke? I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are. Is her fashion more influenced by Jeremy, or is this her coming into her own? And what do you think about him ribbing her about that? You had no fashion sense, you had outdated fashion sense. How do you think that would make her feel? Or do you think it's not a big deal? Totally your call. I don't really have an opinion. I don't really know. I am waiting to hear from you. All right, you guys, I'll be back later with more. Bye.